What's up guys, this is Gynkling, and today I am bringing you a Maya build, a Cataclysm Maya build to be more precise. So, yeah, let's go! First of all, we got Foresight, increase your magazine size and reload speed with all weapons types, or Flicker, increase your chance to cause status effects with fire, shock and corrosive and slag guns. I like to grab Foresight instead of that, because I mainly use SMGs with this class, and or with this build, I'm sorry. So those cost them their elemental effects quite easily, even if I don't choose this perk. So I rather have more magazine size and more reload speed instead of something that's not gonna be that useful. Now let's move on. Immolate adds fire damage to all shots fired while in fight for your life mode. The additional fire damage is based on the damage of the weapon you're firing. Versus Helios, face locking an enemy causes a fiery explosion damaging all nearby enemies. Okay, so Helios, of course, AoE build deals fire damage. That's good. Come on. Okay, so Immolate. Why I don't choose this? First of all, Helios is just way better. But second of all, it's a fight for your life thing. So when you choose these perks, they won't benefit you until you're in fight for your life. I generally advise against picking any of those ever in this game, because they won't help you until you're in fight for your life. You never want to be in fight for your life. So yeah, you get it. So yeah, let's move on. Now, Cloud Kill. Shooting an enemy creates a lingering acid cloud, dealing constant corrosive damage to enemies who touch it. Only one acid cloud can be activated at a time. This is great. It's gonna give you more AoE, and even if you would be using, let's say, a shotgun or an assault rifle that doesn't deal elemental damage, but on the other hand, you almost always want to to use a gun that deals elemental damage, and that preferably won't be corrosive gun, because you will now deal corrosive damage even if your weapon doesn't deal it. So that's really good. Now we got Backdraft versus Chain Reactions. Chain Reaction. Backdraft. Your melee attack deals additional fire damage. Also, when your shield becomes depleted, you create a fiery explosion damaging nearby enemies. Your shield must fully recharge between explosions. Chain Reaction. While you have an enemy face locked, all of your shots that hits enemies have a chance to reach it and hit another nearby enemy. Chain Reactions only work with bullets. This is gonna give you more AoE, and it looks fucking epic when you just spray all your SMG shots at a face lock enemy, and they just kind of spread to every nearby enemy. That looks fucking epic. Now, Backdraft, it's not that useful even if this wouldn't be an AoE build, because you won't be fighting in melee with Maya, so fire damage won't be useful, not to your melee attacks anyway, and the fire explosion of your shield, you can just find a shield that has like the same effect instead of having to spend 5 perks into it, so it's not that useful. Now let's move on. Reaper, you deal increased gun damage to any enemy who has more than 50% of his health remaining. I mean, it's great. You deal 40% more damage to everything that's over 50% health. You're gonna deal 40% more damage, and 40% is much. And then, how often are you not able to kill something that's below 50% health? I mean, it's just gonna be great. It's a bit boring though if you have a sniper and then you're, let's say, firing at the constructor and you deal like 100k and 100k, and then once it's below 50% health, you just deal like 60k. It kind of feels a bit boring, but it's still nice. It's still really good. So let's move on. Blight Phoenix. Kill skill. Killing an enemy causes you to deal constant fire and corrosive damage to nearby enemies for a short time. The damage is based on your level and the level of Blight Phoenix, whatever. I don't really know how to pronounce that. Phoenix, right? Phoenix, or is it Phoenix? I guess it's Phoenix. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Now, what we want in this tree is Ruin. So we gotta pick one of these because we need those points to get this one. But none of these are better than Blight Phoenix. And just notice that it's actually not that great. It's good and it's very useful in some situations, but mostly you'll be in such a distance from your enemy that you won't have the chance to deal the damage to them with your Blight Phoenix skill. But it's still good, it can be useful, and you look badass with like wings on you. So it's cool, useful sometimes. It's the best thing we got for this situation. I like it. So let's move on. Ruin, action skill augmentation, phase lock, now slags, electrocutes, and corrodes all nearby enemies. This is freaking awesome. Now, when you got this build, this is the base build, but when you got that perk, you can just phase lock someone and you'll deal insane damage even if you're not shooting, but you will be shooting obviously, so you'll deal even more insane damage and AoE. But now I'm gonna show you a little trick that's quite good with this build. So let's move on into the motion tree. Now we got ward versus accelerate, right? Increase damage and bullet speed with all gun types. It's just gonna be 15% gun damage and 20% bullet speed, and you don't really need bullet speed. I guess it can be good when fighting like flying things like racks and so on, but I like ward. Improves your shield capacity and shield recharge delay. I would say that it's a bigger bonus than what you get from this, so I like to grab ward. Now, suspension, increase the duration of phase lock versus kinetic reflection kill skill. After killing an enemy, you gain the ability to deflect enemy bullets, sending them flying towards nearby enemies. You take reduced damage from deflecting bullets. Kinetic reflection only works with bullets. This effect lasts for a short time. Now, I'm just gonna grab this, and I'll explain this later. In Converge, this is what you want in the motion tree. This is the main reason you go into the motion tree. So, action skill augmentation. Your phase lock ability now also pulls nearby enemies towards the original target. This deals a small amount of damage to the affected enemies. Now, when you phase lock an enemy, they will be when you phase lock one enemy, you will deal, let's see here, you'll deal fire damage and slag and corrosive and electric damage, electricity damage, electric damage. You know what I mean. And then let's say you're shooting at it. Of course, you'll deal extra corrosive damage, and you'll be dealing probably like fire damage from your weapon, plus you will reflect shots. So when you pull enemies towards the original phase locked one, you will first deal damage from this and this and this and this. And if you would be standing like underneath them, which you shouldn't, you could deal damage with this, but you probably won't deal damage with this. So, but you can see just this. I mean, it's oh god, plus a little bit of bonus damage from there, but still, it's going to be epic. Oh, sorry, that probably sounded quite weird. Sorry, but still, you're gonna deal insane damage, and you're just gonna watch everybody like tick down. You're gonna see these numbers just coming out of everybody's, the numbers when you deal damage. They're gonna be like everywhere over your entire screen, so it's really cool. But anyway, let's move on. That's the core build. That's the main build. I recommend taking something like this. You could switch that one for that one and that one for that one, but I'll explain this. That one plus this is the main build. That's gonna give you insane AoE plus some crowd control CC. Now you got 5 points left, so you could spend like 5 points in there and go there, but this perk, Sweet Release, if the enemy you have face locked is killed, it regenerates life orb that automatically seeks out and heal you and your friends. The healing is stronger when you and your friend's health is low. This is fucking insane. It's epic. You're gonna restore like 75% health at maximum. It's just extremely good, and since you almost always will be killing the enemy face locks, you will almost always regenerate health orbs when face lock and so on, right? Yeah, it's really, really, really good. And yeah, now we have 2 points to spare. You could skip that, but I mean, don't. It's a bad idea skipping that. It's extremely powerful. But now you have 2 points left. I like to put them in suspension, and not vice versa. So I like to have 5 in kinetic reflection and 2 out of 5 in suspension. So basically, kinetic, you can do the opposite and have 5 points in suspension and 2 points in kinetic reflection. But the thing is that sorry, really, I'm sorry. If you have 2 points here, you'll just reduce the damage by 2%, 20%, and you'll deal 40% bullet damage with the reflected ones. Now you'll reduce the damage by 50%, and this means that you'll pretty much take 50% less damage after killing an enemy. Of course not if you're fighting like animals, but whenever you're fighting loaders or bandits and so on, you'll often take 50% reduced damage, and any damage dealt to you by bullets will also be dealt to any enemies. So that's extremely good. It's both really defensive and really offensive, and really good. Now, if you have 5 points into this, it's gonna give you 2.5 prolonging effect of face lock. That's actually extremely good. But 2 points, 1 extra second, that's just as good. So you could switch this over. I like to keep it this way. So this is like the build. Sorry about the quick change there, but I had to edit it, cut it out a bit, so YouTube thought it was too long. But I like to thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave a comment. I really appreciate comments, so thank you guys, and hopefully I'll see you some other time. Goodbye.